Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ground Up podcast, coming to you from the Level Studios here in the beautiful B2 Wellness Suites, the show that turns pain into pivot and gives you the confidence to build your business. We are here today. I'm Terry Barga, one of your hosts. I'm here today with Vanessa Hampton.
Hey.
And we have a very special guest, Sarah Longshore,
Hi.
who is... You drove in for this, and
I did.
We're very, very excited for that.
Yeah.
We're excited to have Sarah here and get into some... and we're going to talk about some business. We're gonna get to know you a little bit for all the people listening. We appreciate you all tuning in. Sarah, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
I always love having you on here. You've been such a great participant in all the things we're trying to do here, and I appreciate you always driving up and being like, "No, I'm totally going to do it." You've helped speak at our Fit Pro Success Summit. You were a keynote speaker one year, and last year you put on an awesome event at the Music City Fit Expo. You have done so much in the world of business, and I cannot wait to unpack it. So,
what did you do at the Fit Expo?
We ran the competition, the CrossFit side of it.
Oh,
this past year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Okay.
So give us a little bit of how you got here, because I know you own several gyms, but I'm assuming that's not where you started. So give us a little backstory in the world of Sarah.
Yeah, so I've always been in the fitness industry, playing sports through high school and then on, and loved fitness. Didn't really think about. I remember in my early days in college, I was a group fitness manager at a local Gold's Gym in Tuscaloosa, and I remember seeing the gym manager and thinking, man, that's such a cool job. I'd love to have that job, but it can't really be a career,
Sure.
And of course, that's 30 years ago. So I look back on that now and kind of laugh, thinking here I am. Yeah. So, but started in the group fitness world. That's really my passion and my love. I love teaching group fitness. I love everything about group settings. I love people. The more people around, it's kind of a running joke with my friends. Like, if they have a party, like, I'm the person inviting everybody, and they're like, you cannot invite people to our party, Sarah. So it's just kind of one of those things. The more people, the more energized. But started in the group fitness world. One summer, I was teaching at a junior college there in Tuscaloosa, and the manager of the gym, he was, would you be interested in doing membership sales? I'm like, no way. There is no way I can sell anything. And he's like, you are selling people every single day in your class. I see it. And I said, well, I'll give it a try this summer, and then we'll see how it goes. Well, I loved it. It was so fun, and really just understanding. I think that's probably the biggest disconnect in the fitness industry, is that we sell.
100%.
Yeah, and you have to sell if you want to be successful. And so that was a big kind of aha moment for me. Like, oh, I thought I was just the group fitness instructor, and people are just showing up for that, but really understanding behind the scenes. So went to work for them, became a regional manager, moved to North Carolina, and then came to Auburn with the same company and worked with them for 16 years, teaching group fitness. But I was also a manager at that time, became a regional manager, but really focused in on the sales side of it and service, and taught the national sales seminar for them every month. Which was fun. I love that stuff, pouring into people and letting people see kind of, aha, I can do this. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2009, and they gave her a 20% survival rate. And so that was my pivot to Huntsville. Mom and Dad were in Huntsville. And so I was like, I have to go. I have two sisters, and they were both there. And so I moved to Huntsville. And when I was moving there, I thought, well, I guess I need a job. I'm going to need things to do. And so that's where Empire was born. It wasn't really a plan. I never really was. My dad was a business owner. My granddad was a business owner, but I never really remember saying I want to be a business owner.
Yeah.
And so that's how that kind of all spun off, then got into the CrossFit world in 2012.
And Empire is
a gym.
Okay.
And so we have,
Gotcha.
It's a Globo gym, you may have heard it called. So we have group fitness, full gym is 24/7, 25,000 square feet. And then I got into the CrossFit world in 2012. So we now have 6 CrossFit affiliates and 12 gyms total.
Wow.
So kind of tapped into the market of the HIIT training studios. We just acquired a cycle bar. So it's no longer Cycle Bar, but taking over the spin area a little bit too.
Are they all in the same area?
They're all in Huntsville, some in Auburn, and
Okay.
then Birmingham.
Okay.
But the majority of we're in North Alabama. I'd love to get into the Nashville area. We've talked about that. And I live in Tennessee. We live in Frank Ewing,
Okay.
which is exactly an hour
Okay.
to here. So I would love to kind of branch up into this area as well.
I know I'm always thinking about you when I'm talking to business owners, and I'm getting an impression from them that they want out. I'm like, could this be a good one? I don't really know, but yeah, you're in the back of my brain all the time when I'm having those conversations. And I do want to unpack. It's just so much to unpack. It was such a great story, and I didn't realize you were up to 12. Congratulations. I think last time
I don't know if that's a congratulations or no.
You're still smiling.
Well,
So tell me so the first gym that you opened was in what year?
in 2010. We
Okay.
started in 2009, but we officially opened in March of 2010. And that was Empire. And then now we've just kind of spun out. And so my goal with it all is I want an empire of fitness,
Okay.
meaning that everything under one roof. So in Empire Fitness, we have a medical doctor, we have a chiropractor, we have physical therapy, we
Okay.
have 2 massage therapists, we have CrossFit, we have HIIT training,
Mhm.
we have group fitness, we have personal training. So it's really like a one-stop shop. People
Mhm.
could come in and get everything that you need with fitness there. The other locations are primarily either CrossFit or boutique style setting, so group fitness.
How quickly did you start expanding once you had Empire, and then how quickly was it before you opened the next?
3 years.
Okay.
Yes. And it really is, I think about this all the time, and I'm very my faith is very important to me, and it really all has been God just opening up doors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been approached this past year of several locations, kind of what you were talking about, people closing, and I'll look at everything and then really pray about it, and if I'm hesitant about it at all, we're not looking for anything else. And so I'm just like, no, that's not a good opportunity. And at the same time, if it makes sense, I believe that there's a reason that God presented this. And
Yeah.
the more people's lives that we can touch, the
I
better.
love that.
Yeah, I do too. That speaks to me on so many different levels. When you look at everything as a whole, and I like to start here. Well, obviously we've got a lot more content to get into, but I like to start here. Out of all of what you've done, was there anything that rises to the top that says this was a pivotal moment in my business? And then, what's that big moment that you've had that could be a pivot, but it also could be a realization? Can you recall anything like that in your tenure?
There's been so many over the years. I think probably the first pivot moment was, when in my early days in the career, it was comfortable, right? When you're working for someone else, you're comfortable. I've always just had that mentality. I love to work. I love to work hard. I love the grind of it. I love the daily processes. So I think that early on, when I had the pivot of moving to Huntsville and then really got my face smashed hard opening up, like, oh wow, like this is a lot more starting from the ground up. So those first 3 years in business, starting from scratch all over again, hiring new employees, pre-selling a gym, getting new members, that was, hindsight, the best thing for me, because it really allowed to see that grind and that grit and really put everything to a test. Everything that I'd been teaching other people to do, here I am now, like, let's try, let's make sure this is all working. So that was probably the biggest, aha, and it makes you more proud now, right? I look back on it and I'm like, I'm so proud of this.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I connect so deeply with you thinking, it's how we view. It's a marketing company. We're a marketing company with a mission, and it can feel very cheesy to everybody else, but it's so important to me and it's so important to my staff that our mission is to make fitness accessible to everybody. Right? We want an entire state that's healthy, and that's something we think that people could put their marketing dollars behind, right?
Yes.
Because it's on every spectrum. So if we're helping people, and we can help businesses while we're helping people. So we're helping those people, we're helping the other people. That's the mission. That's the goal. That's what's so exciting in our industry, right?
Absolutely.
And now with 12 gyms, like, do you get a chance to connect as much as you'd like with the people coming through?
I do. I had this conversation earlier in this week. I have people ask me to franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm just not interested. I'm not a distant owner. It's, our like the Birmingham location is our newest addition. And it is a struggle for me because I want to know all those people. I want to.
You have to feel connected.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to, not that I feel like that I'm the one or anything by any means. However, I just feel like if someone is paying me to do something, I want to do everything in my power to make sure that they're getting their money's worth.
Sure.
And so that's probably, I like to be like, I'm in the gym every day. I'm teaching classes every day. That's the part of it I love the most.
That it feels like business FOMO, right? It's like if you're a people person and people are being helped, and then you have a people-centric business, of course you're going to meet everybody.
Right.
You want to be in that space. You're going to feel all those feelings.
It's that same thing that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. I started a massage business before I was a massage therapist.
Oh.
And I had a hard time with that because I had always been connected to the things that I was doing. And I realized at that moment that for the exact same thing that you're talking about, I didn't feel connected to it. And that did not feel like I could make that successful because of that.
Right. Yes.
So, yeah.
In all that you've done, what is your favorite role now? Because you said you really like sales, and I'm going to scratch what I have for segment 3, and we're going to talk about that because sales is a dirty word. But now that you're where you're at, what is your favorite thing to do outside of connecting with clients that are coming through? Like, what brings you the most life?
So with the clients, it's definitely them reaching their goals.
Yeah.
Being able to really have people. I like to coach like more of a relentless style. Like, let's do something that you don't think that you can do. And I love when people can realize that. For my staff, I love the fact that like one of my biggest happiness points is when we can look back and now we're providing for this person's family, and not only that, but they're also growing their career.
Yeah.
And so that's really exciting for me to see. I do try to, all of our leaders across the board, and CrossFit had an affiliate summit 2 weeks ago, and I was on the panel for that. And I'm 100%, and I said this, I knew my staff was there, and I didn't say it because they were there, because I truly believe this. Like, I would put any one of our leaders up against anybody in the nation out there as far as leadership goes. Good people, good characters, They work hard. We have bad apples sometimes. However, our leadership is really what makes me excited. And they all came from within.
That's great.
They were members there, or they started with us. And so it's definitely, that's exciting for me to see. It's also a responsibility, right?
100%.
Because then I'm like, okay, this has to work because this person is dependent on me to pay their salary, their family's insurance,
Yep.
So it's also a responsibility that it has to happen.
Yeah, that's the heavy side of it, right?
Right.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
But you did say something in there that makes that I do want to get to a little bit later. And I've had some interactions with some of your staff members too. And I could definitely say that that's certainly the case. You do an excellent job of mentoring leaders and growing leaders at your facility, and we will unpack more of that. But yeah, that tracks very, very well with what I know to be true about you. Very, very good leader. I do want to ask a couple more questions, and we're going to get to those, and I'm going to bait you a little bit. So we're on the other side of the break. We talked about managing personnel, and you did mention systems and building systems. Mm-hmm. 2 important things I think that people would like to hear from you on, and we'll come back from the break. We'll hit building systems first. So I'm giving you, this is my warning.
Okay.
You're going to put this in put it in the brain box. So
I'm ready.
All right, we'll come right back after this quick break.
We know prevention is always the best medicine, but our healthcare system can't prevent disease. It only helps when you're already sick. At Kraft Body Scan, we find cancer, heart disease, and other health problems before symptoms appear. And that early detection could be the key to saving your life. Take your health into your own hands. Schedule a couple's heart and lung scan today for only $149. Visit togetherwescan.com.
Okay. Before the break, we talked about me giving you putting you on the hot seat for some questions here, and they were teasing me off camera too about me dragging out that last segment. So I'm sorry. We're going off of the clock here, so throw you under the bus, Vanessa.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you next time.
Yeah,
You
sure.
just can't get mad at me if we go over.
It's always the trick. Sarah, from gym number 1 to gym number 2, I know we talk about the importance of processes, and you did mention that a little bit in the first segment. What needed to be true for gym number 1 before you leap to gym number 2, as far as processes are concerned? And then what needed to be true for gym number 2 to have the right processes in place to grow? It's a loaded question. Go.
Yes. Yes. The main thing is everything in the gym business has a process, from how we answer the phone to how we sign people in, to how we tour people, to how we present memberships, to how we coach a class. All those things have a process. And I think that a lot of people miss that. They just think that we show up and that's just the way things work. And I think really getting people to buy into that process. I don't think there's one way or the right way. I think there are multiple ways, and allowing your team to find what works for them. Like, I love going out into the community and talking to people. My main manager, he does not enjoy that at all, Jeremy. And so, which is fine. Find a way. And so whatever way works for you, and he does very well, he just does it in a different way than what I would do it. And I think that having those processes available and letting people develop it on their own, put their own personality into it. Did those processes develop after the first gym and feeling your way through that, or did you have those in place before you ever opened? Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They have evolved over the years. We're 15 years in now. And so they have evolved, right, with social media and all that's out now. However, it's 101, right? It's back to the basics with everything. When we pivoted into grew into another location, the kind of mindset is that one has to be financially stable.
Gotcha.
We've been super blessed that every location has opened at a profit. So we've set it up with pre-sale to where we know the numbers, we know, our payments, we know all that. So when we open the doors and we get that first payment coming in, we want to make sure that we're in the green. And that's our goal with everything. How
important is it to you that your processes have that personal touch from your leaders? Because that's something that you don't hear very often. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say on that.
It's very important, especially when I have to have them bought in, and I want them to love their job. I want them to love going to work and loving changing people's lives as much as I do. So most people are type A in this industry, right? Everyone is that leader mentality. And so allowing them to develop that, and you can see the cultures develop that way too. And if you go into any of the locations, it's a different feel.
Yeah.
But if you were to look at the backside of it, it's the
same thing, just expressing different personalities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that. I love that they can develop who they are. We do a lot of personal growth stuff too. I'm a big believer in personal growth. Like, I always want to get better. I always want to, in everything that I do. And so I think it's important for them also to have that.
How do you facilitate that? When you say we do a lot of personal growth, you do team building type things?
We do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We do a lot of meetings.
Okay.
I know sometimes that can be not fun for people, but we meet a lot. We train a lot. We role play a lot. We have different metrics. Like, we want everybody obviously doing their workouts and their training. You can't lead from the front in fitness if you're not doing it.
True.
And so everyone having those different things and different motivational stuff. We do Matt Miller coaching. He's someone local in the area. He's actually one of our business partners at CrossFit Hazel Green. He's a licensed counselor, but also a coach, a performance coach. So he'll do different stuff with us quarterly too.
That's cool.
For that personal growth.
I love that. That's great.
That's really cool. You mentioned role playing, which is going to get me into into sales. What is that? First of all, I also love that having your team set aside time for their own fitness is so important and probably a lot overlooked. So I appreciate that. That's good news too. That should be a good word for all of you other gym owners out there, outside of certain metro areas. Because when you get into rural parts of the city or rural parts of the states, you see that less and less. Like the fitness is something they know they don't practice. So I think that's a really important thing to highlight there. I did want to ask you though, in the world of sales, and you were talking about you being different than Jeremy as your leader. What are some really powerful sales tips that you can, give to the listeners that are paying attention?
You always have to be prospecting.
Yeah.
Always looking for that next person. Also, I think a lot of times in the fitness industry, if you are very much in, like, fitness is I love it. If I have free time, I want to work out.
Right.
It's what I love. We're not the norm.
Mm-hmm.
People are, if you go to the airport and sit and look at people, we're not the norm. And so them remembering that we get excited to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Other
Most people don't.
do not.
Yeah.
Right. And so really just keeping that pipeline full, people coming in, because you may talk to 50 people in one day and 10 people are going to be interested.
Sure.
Now, it is better than it was 10 or 15 years ago because people are more educated now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not really a luxury item anymore. We have to get our heart rate up and move
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And people still, it's hard to get them in, that motivation.
Yeah. I would definitely.
But the pipeline, keeping that full with.
So when you're prospecting, this is, I know these are a lot of new terms for folks who are just getting started, because we hear from them all the time, right? From not knowing the difference between marketing and sales to not knowing the difference between like sales and prospecting and how to fill these things. What does prospecting mean to you?
Finding that next new member, finding someone that you could really get them in the door and change their life. That's what it means for me.
Is this events? Is this
it could be
like email list? Is this social media?
Yes, all the above.
Things.
Yes, yes.
That's my answer. You can't steal my answer.
Yes. Yes, people. I mean, it could be guest passing, going out to community. It could be registration boxes. It could be events. It could be hosting. Like, we just had a protein pancake cook-off. It was a member appreciation party.
There we go.
And so it was for our members. And, in return, which it wasn't our goal really to prospect it out, but in return, people are seeing it on social media and stuff. And so different things like that also are part of.
Well, I think that's the part right there. That's a very good example. And that's what I was hoping I would get when I asked you, because I didn't set you up very well for that. I wanted a specific answer.
Okay.
That was it.
Good.
That was it. The idea of, there's two different things happening there. One, it's the creativity of like, hey, let's just do this for our members. And you all should be doing member appreciation stuff. That's huge. It could be a thank you card. It could be a gift or an event. The idea that it's a protein pancake cook-off scratches the itch on so many different levels. And that is, not only is it prospecting, but it's like being creative in a space where, events are helpful, community is helpful. And you have to appreciate the people. So what would be the most fun way to do that? And the fact that it ended up being social media content is just a bonus.
Right.
So I think we overcomplicate this stuff a lot.
Agree.
Do each of your managers at the different locations, are they the ones that are figuring out what they're going to do for the next prospecting?
They do.
Okay.
So every Wednesday we meet. We have managers meetings. Tuesday, Thursday we do sales training for 30 minutes via Zoom. And then Wednesdays we meet in person, and that's when we plan. And we, like right now, we're getting ready. We plan November, December, but we're getting ready for the first quarter. So setting like different clinics, different member appreciation parties, where we're going to go out guest passing or prospecting.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. So not only do you have a system for it, and it's fun and it's multifaceted, you're also planning out the future. So give the folks at home a little bit of an insight to what that plan looks like. So you're putting together first quarter. It's going to be a big quarter. What are some of the things you guys are setting up to do?
So we have 3 focuses. We do sales, service, sanitation. So what is our membership goal? What are we going to hit each month? Where do we need to be? what are we going to do for service? So is it going to be a member appreciation party? Is it going to be a clinic? What are we doing for service? And then the last one is sanitation. So we try to focus on different areas of the facility to really dig into, whether it be cardio equipment or barbells or group fitness room, or maybe this area needs to be painted or whatever, but some type of sanitation to keep that. I found that the leaders, they really like to have checklist items or things to do, right? We get kind of caught sometimes with looking for something to do. Well, here are your things. So when you have free time, let's go ahead and throw that in there.
That's cool. I think that's a really good way to. That's kind of in the fringe, right? Like we know that presentation means a lot, but putting it into the business model for the next quarter as like, hey, here are our goals for what this space could look like.
Right.
That's cool. Like,
well, I mean, we've all walked into gyms and walked over to a corner machine, and it looks like they've got
100%.
12 layers of dust on there.
100%.
And so that's impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Those are our three things that we want to deliver, because people do get upset about that.
Yeah.
They expect more.
So did you, on the processes that you came up with, was this all a collaboration of minds, or was this all things that you have put in place based on what you want and what you like and have experienced?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was the things that I had experienced over the years, that experience. I joke with people that are, I think I have a master's degree in exercise physiology, and I oftentimes tell, I don't regret it, but I'm like, it was kind of a waste.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, because all this was learned over the years, good and bad lessons, right? This didn't work, so let's try this.
Right. Well, and
then
that's
kind
the
of
key is learning from it.
Right.
That's your top tip today, learn.
Learn from your lesson.
You're going to fail.
Yes.
You're going to have things that don't work.
That's
learn
right.
from them.
It's literally in the title.
Yes.
Pivot. Pivot. No, that's so true. It's like you learn more from being in the trenches and feeling all the feelings than really a book can teach you. And it is kind of where we're at. Which is why this show is a benefit to you, and you should tell your friends.
Yes.
No. Shameless self-plug.
I will say about marketing, though, real quick, just in case I forget this in the future. I feel like in our industry specifically, because that's really all I can speak about, that's one thing I don't feel like any of us do very well. I love marketing. Like, I'm very interested in marketing. I don't want to learn about it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that so many people are interested in it, and they think that they're doing it, and they really need to just outsource, get somebody to do it. Most of our managers that do extremely well on social media have someone doing their social media.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, and marketing itself, we've talked about this before, is such a broad term and means so many things. Mm-hmm. So what it means to one person is not what it means to the next. And there's so many different aspects and ways to approach things depending on your business and what your goals are and all the things. So having help with that to hone in on what is going to work for you. Yeah. I 100% agree.
Right.
Yeah. People don't Google anything anymore, or I'm going to date myself. Go to Yahoo.
They don't Yahoo anymore.
They don't Yahoo nothing. They ain't Yelp reviewing. Yeah, they ain't Yelp reviewing you unless you're a restaurant. The first thing they're going to do is pull you up on social media.
Yes.
And they're going to check the vibes, and they're going to want to make sure those vibes are real. So if you're not, I think for a gym specifically, if you're not showing all the elements that we've discussed, then these are marketing facing elements, right? The community, which you've mentioned, like how do we appreciate who we have, and how do we do it in a way that attracts a bigger family, right? And then the cleanliness is really, really important. And then leadership, right? Those are not necessarily in order of priority that you've mentioned them, but you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
If those are your pillars, then the first place you can see that is on your social media, if that's all trickling down to each one of your leaders. And that could be the very beginning of marketing. It's the top of funnel, right? Like that's the marketing genre, or the marketing jargon is the word I was going to use. That we'll throw out there. I want to get into a little bit more of your leadership style. I want to know where you sit on what side, and we're going to do that. We'll do that right after this break.
If you're a wellness or fitness pro looking for a space that truly fits the way you work, check out B2 Wellness Suites. With locations in Brentwood and Mount Juliet, B2 offers private suites, shared offices, and day rentals, all in a calm, welcoming environment designed for our industry. But it's more than just a space, it's a community of like-minded professionals who support, inspire, and grow together. Learn more at b2suites.com.
Ezra used to give me 3, 2, 1s back there.
And we're back.
But
Okay,
no, he
3,
just does
2,
this.
1, go, Terry.
He gives me a nod. No,
Speak.
yeah. Prior to the break, I wanted to get into a little bit more leadership stuff with you. So, are you the fun-loving, nurturing mom manager, or are you the crack the whip, get your stuff done, and then you can have your dessert manager? Which one is it?
Yes, option B.
Option B.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. I think as I've gotten older, I kind of dance in both areas a little bit more. However, I do find myself in option B. I was raised that way. I have 2 sisters, and my parents raised us that whatever you get, you earn, you work for it. And I love that. And so I find that a lot of times, more so now, I want the leaders, the managers to get it, but I'm not going to do the work for them.
Mhm.
Well, and that's probably my guess is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the bigger your team has gotten, the more you've had to
Forced.
move into that direction, right? I
Yes.
mean, you've got a lot more at stake, but you also have a lot more responsibility with a lot, because how many leaders are on your team?
There's 7.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you almost have to be that way.
Yes.
What else were you going to ask about leadership?
No, I just think I've been in both spaces, like where I've been the nurturing, wanting to be everyone's friend and trying to let's unpack that. And I think there's a certain amount of time that goes by where you're like, okay, this isn't working.
There's a balance.
Yeah,
Yes.
like it's time to shift a little bit. Deadlines are now important. Respect is, we're not going to overlook things that are disrespectful. We're going to have conversations quicker when we have that. As a leader, you have that gut feeling, like when you know you need to talk to somebody.
You're a great person to ask this. With you making decisions, both as you talked about moving with decisions as far as expanding your business, instead of actually placing expectations about what that's going to look like, which kind of plays into what we've talked about a little bit before with he and Roy and I, and the difference. I move from my gut, and what I lead from my gut as well. When you, as a leader, do you make those decisions based on like books and resources and things that you've learned, or you base it on instinct?
Most of the time instinct. However, now, because I feel like I have so many of those reps over the years, I can sense it a little bit more. Like if this person, they need to be let go.
Right.
Whereas before I was
You want to give them the benefit of the doubt?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was guilty of keeping people that I saw potential in instead of really looking at their actions.
Right.
And really in our industry, and again, it could be in every industry, I don't know. In our industry, you deal with a lot of big talkers.
Oh, yeah.
You see a lot of big talkers that are, they're the fitness expert and all that. And I'm really big on actions, like prove it. I will believe you, but I don't want to
Back
see
it up.
all your stuff
Yeah.
on Instagram. Like, show me your financials or show me your training clients, things like that. And that is only because of lessons that I've learned.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yep.
I think we've all done that. I think
Yes.
we've all hung on to people because of what the potential we see in them, or we desperately, for me, it's always, I desperately want something more for them. Like,
Yes.
there's enough of a connection built. You see what's going on in their life, and you're like, oh man, if I could just get them to this level, that would take a lot of pressure off of them.
Yes.
And the problem with all that is if they don't see those things.
You fall into wanting it more than they do.
Correct.
Yes.
That's having a big heart, but also, learning that lesson over and over again of finding that balance of being able to approach things openly with a big heart, but setting boundaries for yourself and not to your own detriment.
So what do those
Yes.
boundaries look like? So there's the question. Like, if you have the heart and you can see a little bit of light, even though you don't see everything you want. We talked about this in a podcast previously with culture fit. Like, you got a good culture fit, but you may not have the professional skills. Like, what does this look like? I want to know for the both of you. Like, what does that look like do you develop? Like, what's the timeline? What's the boundary?
As far as working with leaders,
Yeah.
developing your team.
Yeah.
I normally like 90 days to 6 months is usually where, and what I love about the business side of it is the numbers don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be the community is starting to drop, you're having cancellations, you're having membership freezes, you know, what's the reason for that? There's a reason for it. It's not just because the government is shut down or whatever.
Yeah.
People will do whatever they have to do to make ends meet if they're enjoying it and loving it. So that's when I really start looking at the leadership. And, you know, it's amazing how quickly just changing one person will completely change a culture, in a good and or bad way.
Yeah.
And so following that, but really numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Feelings lie, right?
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie.
I still learn that lesson. I'm getting better at it, but still veer to the side of giving to my own detriment a little too much. So just now doing kind of the same thing, starting to, if I'm bringing on a new person, let's give it 90 days and see if it works for both of us. And then if I set that timeline, then I hopefully do not get into the same cycle of keeping somebody for a year or 2 years well beyond because I feel bad for them, or I feel like, you know, they're just going through a hard time, or given the, you know, so it's that type of thing. So I would say that I'm still a work in progress on that.
Well, and I think in that early stage too, you know, pressure is a privilege, right?
Mm-hmm.
So keep the pressure on and find them. I like to either push them up or push them out.
Yeah.
You're either going to rise up to this occasion or you're going to quit. And I'm okay with either one.
Well, and I think too, if I'm being very honest, sometimes I have kept them on longer because I know it creates more work for me of having to start that process over and fill that position. And so I know that's partially me of just dreading going into that whole thing again.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yeah.
That's the question I have for you that I would like you to elaborate on. When you say pressure is a privilege, I'm pretty sure I understand what you're saying, but let's elaborate on that for me.
I think more so now than, and maybe it's because I'm more aware of it. It's almost some people, when you start to apply pressure, like, Terry, your membership goal this month is this. Right now you're here. What are you going to do until October the 31st to hit this number? Because this is the commitment that you gave to me that you were going to do for this month. Some people freak, you know, it's immediately like they shut down because of that. And so to me, and this is different now than it would have been 5 years ago. Now I'm starting to realize that's just who they are.
Yeah.
And they're just not cut out for this. They need to be in a different role.
Job. Yeah.
Because you've got to be able to, if your back's against the wall, you know, are you going to come out fighting, or are you just going to shut down and be like, I can't do this, she's so mean, kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's okay if you're like that. You just need to be in a different role.
It just comes down to who you want on your team.
Right.
And if that's not, that's
because
a great way to look at it. Because those people are going to continue
to do that, and then you're going to get in 6 months down the road, and it's so much mental clutter that you're upset that this person is not performing. But at the end of the day, it's really your fault because you've allowed it. And so that's what I kind of self-check.
Well, that leads to another thing that we really haven't tapped a whole lot into. When you get into that and you're dealing with the emotional side of it for you, how do you reconcile guilt with, I mean, because we talked about the big heart that we have for helping people and wanting to support our team and things like that. There's always that guilt side of it when it's not working. How do you reconcile that for yourself? Does that linger with you?
I feel like if you always do the right thing, and the right thing meaning, like, are you being honest? Are you really acting in this person's best interest? And if you've really done that, you're really doing them a favor.
Yeah.
You know, let's
That's
just
a great way to
shake
look at
hands and part ways, and I wish you the best.
You can do it with love. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I also can sense that, you know, it's true when you hear like mediocre people don't like high achievers and high achievers don't like mediocre people. I see that all the time, even in the gym, like workout people. The people that are like your fire breathers that are up there on the front row.
So true.
It is. And it's so true, really, in leadership, too. It's kind of fun to see. But I find that about myself, too. Someone that's like, they like to halfway do things. And I have to remind myself, like, they're showing up.
Yeah.
So that's okay. They're showing up. Would they make the team? No. However, they are a big part of the community.
Yeah.
And we need that, right? We don't want everybody to be the same.
No, you can't have a whole room full of leaders, right? They'll all be at each other's throats.
Right.
That's one thing we bonded on was I like to say, Terry, we're a lot. And I have to remind myself of that when you are dealing with different personalities. We are a lot,
right?
And we come across as a lot. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but exactly like what you're talking about, if that's what you want on your team is that extra, then I mean, it totally tracks with the way that you're approaching it. I love that.
Well, we like people that are like us, right? So with you having that mindset and you being a lot, you're going to relate more with somebody that's a lot versus somebody that's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, whatever?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
How could you say that?
Yeah. It's not okay. I'm not okay.
Yeah. How do we not have why is this open-ended?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
right.
I'm a full believer in like everything should be reconciled. Right.
Yes.
Like, I leave the office every day with a empty inbox on text message and on my email.
I don't do that.
That is my number one.
Sounds like a dream.
I know, right?
That said,
give me your secrets.
By the time I make it a mile down the road, most people are replying to the emails I just sent. So and they'll do it throughout the evening. But I left with my goal checked. That's my goal. If the email box fills back up, that's great. That means people are actually responding. So, and we are a lot. We are a lot.
We are.
I can't imagine. Like it's been very helpful for me in the last 6 or so months to be to share that office. Vanessa and I share an office right over here, and realize that there is a lot going on in this bird's nest of a brain that a lot of people can't track with.
Right.
They don't see the same things.
Yes.
Two, either reconciling or vision casting those things. You're going to get the wrong people are only going to hear 50% of what you're saying. And it's very frustrating. And it actually is less efficient than if you were working with somebody who can kind of understand that part.
It's limiting.
It's limiting. That's the best way to say it.
It's
very
limiting.
much.
So in your experience, what does that partnership look like? I know we were talking about leaders. And maybe this is a conversation about you and your husband and how you guys maybe he's not involved at all in the business. I don't know, but like, what does a partnership look like to you? What would be a powerful partnership for Sarah
with the leaders now?
Just in general, like let's just paint a picture outside of what you've already created. Like if someone was to come alongside you and say, I want to do this thing with you, what would be that ideal partner?
Someone that is definitely a self-starter and also someone that's hungry.
Yeah.
I think that they have to be hungry to be successful. You made me think this a minute ago that I oftentimes will say to someone, because I'm like a doer, and sometimes I like expect you, like you can't read my mind, so like sometimes can you just live in my head for a little bit?
Oh my gosh, I say that all the time.
Preach.
Yes, and so that's something that I've been trying to work on better with that, instead of just doing, maybe talk about it first and then execute. But really someone that is a self-starter, someone that is working on personal growth. I think that has a lot to do with, we have some new managers right now that are new and they're young. And so really they're learning life and trying to help them really, like, life's not easy. Mm-hmm. Work is not easy. Life is hard. That's why we train hard. And so getting them to understand that. And I feel like there's so many excuses out there now. Mm-hmm. People are blaming this or blaming that. Like, let's not blame anything. Let's take responsibility, because we can control what we can control. And whatever's going on and everything else, like, my classes kind of roll their eyes at me sometimes because I'm like, everything's great in my world. I don't know what you guys are looking at on the news, But those are things that I think that people have to really learn. And I think that that's probably someone that's hungry, that's willing to learn, that really cares about people, mm-hmm. that loves fitness. A lot of people get into this business and they don't even work out themselves. And I'm like,
Right.
Oh, I know a few of those folks, for sure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Tell me about your husband. What kind of personality is he?
He is a business owner, so he's a veterinarian. He is very much type A. I do help out a little bit at the animal hospital, but only on like the hiring side. And other than that, he's a very good veterinarian. He's very much, he's more numbers driven than I am.
Okay.
I'm not very numbers driven. Like, I believe if you do a good job and you treat people well, everything will work out.
Yeah.
And it's worked out. So that I'm like, well, see, the evidence is here. And to sit down and look at like P&Ls and stuff like that, I do not like that stuff. I've learned to like it because I feel like you have to. But he's very, bottom line.
That's what drives
like it has
him.
to work out. Yes.
Do y'all clash with both of y'all being business owners? We are going to find out right after we come back from this break.
Perfect.
Before the break, we were talking about your husband and how he is a business owner as well. Do you guys clash with your personalities ever on both of you being business owners? Are you pretty both kind of up here, or do you how do you balance each other out?
So I was a business owner before him, and early he would fuss at me a lot for working so much. And even before I was a business owner, I am a workaholic. Like I do love it, and I do work a lot. And so when he was buying the animal hospital, I was secretly excited. 'Cause I'm like, yeah, he's about to understand. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
So it's been nice over the years to. He is, like I said, very much type A, but he also will lean on me for. Because at the end of the day, business is business,
right?
Whether it be an animal hospital or a gym, the back end is the same. And so he'll lean on me for things like that. And I wouldn't say that we clash. Sometimes I'll offer some advice, or he'll offer me. He doesn't really dip into the gym space very much. He likes to work out, but he doesn't really have any interest in really running the business. And but he'll have a better idea. And I just kind of sit back and think, watch. And then he's like, okay, maybe you were right on this. But it's not because I knew better. It's just because I had experienced something like that over the years. So, yeah.
Does he run as hard as you do now with owning the business?
He does.
Now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes. And
more of an understanding then.
Yes. And I feel like, I said that I'm more of a direct leader or whatever. He is too. I feel like I've got a little bit more, like I am direct, but I also want you to be successful. So trying the way that it's presented maybe is not as, he's just like, get your stuff and go.
Right.
There's no like,
there's no two sides of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so just being a little bit more rational about stuff. But yeah, we don't usually dip into each other's.
Have your boundaries.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, other than if he brings home any more dogs, we're gonna have to 12's enough. They're all rescues.
My gosh.
Yeah.
It's like one per gym.
Right.
Well, I take 3 with me to work every day, and he takes 9 with him to work every day.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So, yes.
Does he drive? What does he drive? Is this a cargo van?
A truck. Yes.
Truck,
Yes. But yeah, he takes 9 because they can play in daycare and everything there. And then I'll take 3 just to kind of give them a.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
We're all dog lovers around here, so
yes,
you're in the right company. speaking about your husband, and we talk about partnerships, what I always like to say is like complementary opposites, right? Like knowing who you got and how they're motivated. I know why Roy and I work well together. I know why Vanessa and I work well together. It's because we're not exactly the same. We hit in different areas where the other is weaker. And I think that watching all that, those, I guess it feels like purse strings to me as you pull them, right? The opening gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you have one unified unit. That to me, I think is a great way for leadership. I hear that in what you're saying is like you're trying to press into folks, it's like into their strengths, and you're trying to pull out where you feel like they're, what their vision is for their life, or at least what you see. Like you're trying to press them, like you said, the pressure. All that is relevant, and I think it's really, really important and helpful for people to hear. As we summarize this podcast a little bit, I would love to get into some tips from you. What you've done is not easy. I think everybody wants to do it. It's really easy to go through a 1-hour podcast and be like, yeah, this is how it's done. And there's a lot of pain in there. There's a lot of vision that's been altered. There's a lot of lessons learned. What are the 3 tips that you can give to folks that can really help them go from that 1 gym to that 12, if you can offer?
One of the things I often hear with gym owners is you can't make money doing this. And I disagree. And I think that the reason that there's perception of that is because there are not those processes. There's not, at the end of the day, sales has to happen.
Yeah.
It has to. And I see it a lot to where there are not a lot of sales systems in place, or maybe there are great sales systems in place, but they're not closing when the people come in. You've got all these free trials going on. Well, what happens then?
Right.
And I see that a lot too, where they're getting there's a lot of marketing out there. There's that free trial, that catch hook or whatever. But then what happens when they come in? No one's trained to talk to them and show them the solution to what they're looking for. So I think keeping that first and foremost, it has to happen. And also getting your leaders bought in on that, because in the fitness industry and in the early days, that's what my first mentor told me. He's like, you believe in fitness and you can sell, so you're going to be successful. Most people, either they're really on the fitness side or they're really on the sales side.
That's so true.
And you can't be too salesy. If you don't believe, I couldn't sell a vacuum cleaner. So I'm not a good, I don't need it, right? So I'm not a good salesperson, but I do believe in fitness, and I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want it.
I see that so much in the industry. We do, obviously do a lot of marketing, a lot of business coaching. You get into situations where you hear from gym owners. It's typically the ones that are removed, like maybe they bought a franchise and they're trying to staff it. They want a general manager, and the best course of action feels like to promote the guy from within. And whether you're a new owner or you've been an owner or the business has been established for a while, and you're coming in to lead it, that position, typically when you're promoting from within, you're going to get a personal trainer who's just got a good following, right? The fitness person, the fitness junkie, the one that loves to work out,
right?
Not the numbers person,
right?
Not the salesperson. And that lasts for about 6 to 8 weeks before they get bored and they realize, or they get completely frustrated with cold calls, customer service, spreadsheets, P&Ls, then they fall away. Right. And then they overcorrect. All the owners always overcorrect, and they'll hire someone out of college with the skill set, the sales skills, and have no passion for fitness, and they have no idea how to talk to folks about it. And at the end of the day, they shut their doors.
Yes. I see it happen all the time.
It's got to be in the middle.
Yes, it has to be in the middle, and it has to be developed. I do believe that you could take a fitness person and teach them I think that a lot of them don't understand the importance of learning, and we can change it from sales to getting people started, whatever. We can't change anyone's life unless they become a member.
Right.
So that has to happen.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're very, very right. We want to give you an opportunity to plug all the things and to leave everyone with the last word. So talk to the business owners out there and give them your final word on that, and then tell everybody how they can follow you or find you if you'd like.
Sure, of course. Of course, we love social media. Well, like I said earlier, I think one of the biggest things that we all, besides sales, that we forget is marketing. And I think that now, I remember when social media wasn't, I joke with my team all the time because I'm like, if Facebook and all that would have been around when I started, we were out on the streets, getting people's credit card numbers and
But that's
checking
probably
accounts.
which made you so good at what you do.
Right. But now you've got all these resources, use them. Like, you've got such an easy way to do all this. So I think that them really using all those resources and understanding how and why and having a plan to do that is so important. Like, why are we even doing this?
Right.
Like, do you really want to change people's lives?
Yeah.
And I believe that we're in the best industry in the world because we are saving people's lives.
We actually can deliver.
We can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we can make, yes, don't get me on that tangent.
I know.
But yeah.
Well, that's part 2 coming down the pike. So
Yes.
tell everybody how they can come find you.
Well, on my Instagram or Facebook, it's Sarah Longshore Hayes. Also, you could follow Empire Fitness. We have CrossFit Madison, CrossFit Empire South, CrossFit Hazel Green, CrossFit Athens. We have Roar Fitness USA, Roar Fitness Auburn, Cycle Roar Huntsville. I know I'm forgetting some. CrossFit Athens. Did I say that?
I get all that. I love this.
Empire
You forget all the
Fitness.
names of all your children.
All my kids,
All your
plugging
kids.
all the people. But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I think y'all, if you have a chance to meet Sarah, please do. She's a wealth of information, and I look forward to having you back at our Fit Pro Success Summit. And you'll be at the expo. Get a chance to talk to Sarah, get some insight from her. She's super helpful. It's always good to have you here. Such an honor to get to talk to you. I know I'm going to pick her brain more when we get off the air here. So, guys, if you found this at all useful, we always ask that you share it with your friends. We need you to like and subscribe. And if you do find this kindness deep down in your heart, to rate the show, we'd love a 5-star rating. That'd be hugely helpful for us. On behalf of Nashville Fit, Spread the Positive, Roy Mangrum, who couldn't be here, Vanessa, Hampton, and the lovely Sarah Longshore, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.